Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or you've been building them for years. There's something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley. I am joined tonight by, of course, as always, our Director of Propaganda, Joe.
Evening, everybody.
And our prodigal son has returned.
I have returned. I have come home to the promised land.
Yes, he has returned. He is not retarded. Wait, I said that wrong. He is back. And we have Garth back with us tonight.
How we all doing, guys? Good to be back. Haven't been in the saddle in 2 months, probably?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, close enough. So
and also tonight we have a very special guest with us. We have Dave Warner from Next Level Armament.
What's up, guys? I hope I can live up to that theme music. That was way cooler than anything I got to fucking say.
Yep. So, guys, before we get into tonight's topic, first, I suppose it is getting to be tradition. We will do our Thirsty Thursday. So, Joe put a poll in Discord to find out what he was going to drink tonight.
Yeah, they made me kill off my bottle of Blanton's. Good thing I got a spare back there. But yeah, it'll be good. My wife will be a little upset because it turned out to be quite a pour. So,
Garth, anything special for you?
well, actually, I only have a jug of water on the desk, but I do have a bottle of tin cup that I was probably going to go sneak off later and pour myself one. So that's what I'll be sipping on tonight.
I too just have a jug of water. And also, I made a pour because we had a listener send us 2A bourbon. So thank you to, as Discord knows him, Dirt Racer. And he sent us that. And actually, is that?
So that's what it is in the chat.
Yep. And actually, this bottle arrived on my birthday. So it was a great birthday present. But I waited till tonight to crack this bottle of 2A bourbon. So I am also having a little bit of 2A bourbon tonight.
Nice.
Dave, anything exciting or just water for you?
I just moved and my whole liquor cabinet's up there behind this big ass door. So I got nothing I can get access to. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fair. Well, before we get to talking about Dave and Next Level, I know Garth is going to have a little bit to talk about here when he talks about what he's done in guns over the past couple months. So we're going to wait to hold you till last. Joe, did you do anything?
Not a whole lot. I got my slide back for my Shadow. Got the Gideon Granite competition on there with the 8 MOA dot. Haven't had a chance to shoot it. Just came in today. And I had some homework and stuff to work on after work. So I'll get out either tomorrow or sometime this weekend and get it dialed in. And then I went and ordered a bunch of a belt set up for it with holsters and
etc.
Yeah, all the stuff else you need. Mag pouches. There we go. So
yeah, Dirt Racer says yours is mailed. So
yep, I saw that. He sent me the receipt with the tracking number and all that on it. So knowing the great USPS, it should get here sometime in October.
Well, I don't know. Mine showed up on time. But Dave, did you do anything fun with guns in the past week or so, or anything exciting other than building cool stuff and testing it?
I mean, I've been messing around with this Scorpion project that we came up with the top eject. So basically, you buy those uppers and you get those shitty welded up lowers that you got to weld up and do all this stuff and try to put together the Scorpion, right? The old
VZ65.
Yep. So I made a lower that takes standard AR-15 LPK and goes together like a dream, and then it bolts up to that top, and we put on some sombreros, and we were shooting some of that center eject in the air and catching in some sombreros and shit, but that's about it.
Okay, first you had my interest and now you have my attention. Like, this sounds like exactly the type of thing that I need to be involved in. So I am all in, and I will be talking to you more about that later because that sounds delightful.
It's stupid, but fun.
Yes, Dr. Scared Guy, he is incorporating your landscaper American culture. But I also have gone out and just a little bit of shooting. Took the wife and kiddo out with their deer guns, and they were shooting their 300 blackouts. And my daughter is a more accurate shooter than my wife, which
Oh, I could have told you that was coming.
I was gonna say that should shock no one who's met both of them. But I'd say it's because one listens to me, but I'm not sure that's true.
Well, one just went through the American military, and the other one hasn't.
Yeah, that's why my daughter's more accurate.
Exactly.
That's not true because there's a lot of really good shooters out there, but it's so we went out and did that. I did get one thing in that I'm going to try out just because I've been doing more and more with dots and magnifiers. So I have a budget magnifier that combo that I'll be talking about. I think I got $130 into the total setup for a 3x magnifier. And then I've also been out doing some suppress shooting. And I know that Garth actually got to do a little suppress shooting.
I did.
And we'll get into that more because in the business, they might call that foreshadowing. But Garth, tell us what you have done.
Oh, guys, I've been busy, to say the least. First of all, obviously I had harvest. That's why I couldn't make it here because, got to actually do what makes you money before you can go enjoy the things you like to do outside of work. And so that's where I was at. But while I was away, I was hard at work with guns. I wasn't really doing a lot of shooting. I wish I could have done more, but they were shooting related events. And actually, Nick has a picture he can put up because I, over the last 3 months, which I thought was going to take me 3 years, built a shooting complex out to my farm. I built a berm system out there. It is 40 yards long by 25 yards deep, roughly. Put most of my targets there. I actually just got the rest of my target stands in today. And so I don't think I'll have time to sneak out there before I go to this DAV poker run in Brookings tomorrow. So that'll have to be a next week project, but I'm going to have 10 static movable targets out there as well. So I think I'll have a total of like 61 steel targets in the range that we'll be able to shoot from, Nick and I and Joe and a few other friends of ours, and do a lot more podcast videos and stuff out there with wind breaks because out here in South Dakota, the wind kind of gets a little gusty. And so, yeah, just a super awesome, fun place for the AR-15 crew to go out and shoot and have a good time and ring some steel and get better at, competition shooting. And that's just one of the many ventures I've been doing over the last couple months. But yeah, so, and as far as how let's see here, I'm not sure about the snow yet because last winter was so mild. We didn't really have snow. And I actually am going to get one of those shipping containers, those 40-foot ones. I'm going to put it on the north end where we actually shoot from to do a wind block, snow block. So I don't know if that'll happen this year. So this will be a good trial winter to see how snow retains in there and everything like that. But I also did put a drainage system in it on the south end, buried drain tile and stuff. So hopefully I did that right and it doesn't flood my range this spring. But so, yeah, I thought of all the stops and everything like that. And since I sourced all the dirt myself and used my farm equipment and everything like that, it really only cost me about $1,200, I say, to build the whole thing. So in the long run, not too bad considering I was going to use, old semi tires at one point, and that would have took me a long, long time to do. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. Nick actually came out one day with his 6-point blade on his skid steer and helped me level everything out. And yeah, it's almost complete and ready to go. I haven't shot on that with all the steel yet. Been kind of saving it, kind of want to christen it right, not just go out there and pop 10 rounds, but like, yep, I shot there. So yeah, super stoked to get the AR-15 crew out there and do that. And then beyond that, I guess I've been doing a little bit of music stuff, which also has some gun related things in there because earlier this year, as you guys know, I posted on our social media about an incident I went on about the beginning of June. It was a pretty rough fire call we had, and I wrote some lyrics down and turned it into a song. And it's amazing what you can do with the power of AI now. So I started composing songs, and I've got 16 of them, and I'm about to step into my next venture where I will be posting stuff on iTunes, Spotify, all the like, and trying to get some of these recognized because my first song actually did have a pretty decent following of about 44,000 views. So I'm hoping to continue that. And
He's a SoundCloud rapper, guys.
I'm pretty
Mixtape.
but it's country though. It's not rap because I don't do rap.
They're the same now. Maybe you don't know this.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of gonna try that venture next and see where that takes me. So hopefully when I get all my stuff posted to the interwebs, I'll be able to share those links with you guys if you want to check it out at all. But I have a lot of stuff about hunting, growing up in a rural area, and just living that small country life, and it's pretty fun and fulfilling. So that's what's really been occupying all my time.
It's interesting that you just completed that. They just shot at my range I just built here for the first time. Did a customer demo and hung out. Like we'd always have problems finding places and people would bitch. So we finally, like I told you guys earlier, moved out further away from where we used to be at. And we had a couple manufacturers here in town, and they came out and shot. And that's something we're moving to just because we do so much machining for so many people in the industry, right? So it's kind of neat. We can fly somebody in. They go through and see the prototype machinery. They see the horizontals, the part density, and all that stuff graduate through. And here's where, cans are 3D printed. Here's where they're turned. Here's where they're coated. Go out to the range and then fucking shoot them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that, I think, is a lot cooler, a lot more intimate. I mean, we all met at GunCon, and I think for me, when I showed up and when our media dude showed up, we all said, "Fuck, this is gonna suck." And it was honestly, it was our probably best show that we ever had. Just the way it was put together to be able to network with guys like you and everybody else and hang out. By the way, Billy, I just want to apologize. You remember the bathroom was air conditioned, the only air conditioned place in the spot, and you came in. Yeah, you came in to use the bathroom, and somebody was beatboxing out of their asshole. That was me from the beer wall the night before. You came in and took a piss. You're like, damn, somebody's getting it in here. That was me. So, anyways, just that level of intimacy with all the people like yourselves, and then having that range day where there's a limited amount of people and having real conversations, and then going back to the show the following day. We got way more value out of that than we have any other show, and that's why we're doing kind of what you did, Garth, where we can just fly out AIM or whoever it is and just have them come in, go through the whole gambit of shit, go out to the range at the cost just to ship into some of these shows now. I mean, I can fly in 15 dealers, right, per show, right? And they're walking away way more educated on our products and what we have and what we carry and what the market separating, portions of the products are. Instead of being a show, hey, how you doing? Okay, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, have fun. See you. Bye. Right? So,
no, totally get that.
I think you'll get a shitload of value out of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's great to have that just as a place to go, and it's nice to have somewhere where you can do something fun and like maybe be silly and not have a bunch of other people like, oh, you can't do.
Yeah,
and those things are really good. I know that we have long said that GunCon is probably our favorite show.
Hands down.
And it is because it, it's a little bit more intimate, and you have that, oh, hey, like we're gonna, get together with, everyone else and the vendors and, the media guys and everything. We're gonna get together. We're gonna have some drinks, maybe a cigar. We're gonna BS. We're gonna swap stories and kind of get to know each other outside of just like, hey, want to send me something free?
Yeah, and for me, like I said, we do machining for 37 companies in industry, right? So when I go out to a SHOT Show, I don't even get to like walk the floor, maybe for like 5 minutes. It's typically off-site manufacturing, machining capacity. It's not like a fun gun show. This one was fantastic. I had a great time.
Yeah. So I know that we mentioned that you're with Next Level Armament, and you alluded to some of the stuff you make. I know that we're going to get more into this as we go on, because you guys make a plethora of things, and it's really kind of amazing. When we were there, the first thing I saw that really piqued my interest, and I think I grabbed Joe and was like, "Hey, look at this," and I need to order one of those because I need that in my life. And that is one of your cans. And I've actually been incredibly impressed with what it is. But it's a 22 can. And people sometimes look down on the 22 can as it's like, oh, it's just that. I'm like, no, but it's 22 is where you have like the most fun. Like it really can be one of the most fun, useful, and effective ways. It's a great trainer. And it is incredibly light. Like, what is this thing? Like 3 ounces?
3 ounces, yeah.
And this is super unique because it is actually metal with a 3D printed baffle stack that is not like sintering magic. And I know that as we're sitting here going through here, I see Collector Tactical says that he's less than 2 hours from you, and might have to go visit next time he's in GR for a gun show. So
hit me up on Grindr, bro.
Yep. But this really did, this was a can that really surprised me when we shot it the day of the show. And it's because like the additive technology manufacturing as we go through, I think is the way of the future.
180%. People don't only think from the internal design that you can be able to make features that at conventional machining just aren't possible. Just to be able to have the throughput, right? Like with the 3D printed can technology, can you have a plate of 50 cans in 2 days, right? Our first gen cans that we now 3D print to make 100 of those. So 5 baffle stacks, expansion baffle, end cap, and hub adapter. Get them DLC coated, get them tie coated on the inside. To make 100 was 12 weeks, right? So now you're talking, in 2 days. Now that equipment's $1 million to print them still, right? But that's all coming down and getting reasonable if you want to do it right. But in a couple of days, you're 3D printing that was 50 cans, taking them out, turning them, facing them, flipping them, do the hub adapter end. So you're talking, 2 weeks to be able to get, we use a different coating on our cans. So we do that in house. It's a graphene coating for heat dissipation purposes. So you're talking 2 weeks versus 12 weeks, and it's a superior product. So yeah, that technology is insane.
Yeah, I know that here in the chat, there's a bunch of people talking about this can already going like, hey.
You went to jail.
No, first one was, what is it rated for? And 22 long rifle, 17. You said you had shot some 22 Magnum through it?
Yeah, yep, we ran that. We ran quite a bit of that. We had ran that for a day, and then we had a customer / friend of ours try the uppercut in there. So that's that WMR that has little serrated ends on it with a little bit of a hollow point. That did not go great. So that's cost of a replacement baffle. But other than that, like that original demo unit, you've seen how popular it was. We're still running that original demo unit from GunCon. So yeah, when you're running 22 and you're plinking it's great.
Yeah. And then Dr. Scary Guy actually has a interesting point here that he made in the chat. If the ATF approves people to make and replace their own wipes, so technically suppressor parts, on an as-needed basis, will this extend to monocore baffle stacks?
Great question. We actually
don't know.
Got a request to take a look at that product from some of the letter people that got an anonymous tip, and you know me, I went fucking crazy. I was like, I'm naming the single stack the rat because some rat bastard ratted me out, so I went way off the deep end. Luckily, we got Dan at the office, so it was like, just chill out, let's send it in. And he was like, man, he's like, I wish I would have bought these before we reviewed them. Everybody at the office wants them. I'm like, well, then fucking pass them, right? It's not that hard. So we'll see where it goes from there. When we had originally talked to, and it's notorious to have verbal conversations with these guys, right? And
Yep.
like I'll hand them the baffle stack, the logo. I'd be like, here you go, check this out. And I'm like, what? Put it on a gun. He's like, well, I can't. I'm like, okay, because this other part that takes all the heat and all the brunt of the round is the serialized suppressor. You cannot do anything with this without this, right? They're like, yep, I agree. So we'll see if DC agrees.
Right on. No, and people don't realize exactly what a joy it is to deal with our delightful overloads at the BATFE.
It's a good time. I just wonder what's going to happen in the future for people that are, going to be getting in industry, trying to get a manufacturer's license, all this stuff. They're talking about all the budget cuts. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's great. I'm like, can you imagine applying to be a new dealer? They're saying Michigan would have 2 ATF agents, and I'm already going. So I'm like, fuck yeah, that's great. But what about these new cats that are applying and trying to get their, brands going or whatever? They're never going to get audited, right?
Yeah, I know that for us, we have 2 for our whole state.
Wow, must be nice.
And
you got any room out at that range, Garth? I'm gonna come live there. You got room.
Oh, plenty of room. That's why I'm going to put that shipping container out there. Tiny house edition, right?
Exactly.
Yes. So we talked a little bit about that, and that was the first thing that really caught my eye was the varmint suppressor. And I know that I've really been enjoying it. I've taken it out. I'll be honest, I haven't run it on a rifle yet because I was going through my guns the other day, and I realized the only 22 I have that's threaded is an AR that's running a conversion, and that currently has a dinosaur skull 3D printed muzzle brake. It's actually my daughter's, but or dragon skull, I think would be a better way to put that.
Dragon, yep.
And I have a 1022 barrel in the lathe that I should probably just get the threads concentric on, and then screw it on so I can actually shoot like a rifle in 22 long rifle. So I've been shooting it on a variety of different pistols, and it's been a great host because of the weight of it. But going through that, just one thing that I was excited about, why I wanted to mention that weight of being 3 ounces, is it really does make it well balanced on a lot of stuff, because especially like even 10 rounds of 22 weighs about 3 ounces. So it offsets the weight of the magazine, and it's not overly heavy. It doesn't make your gun, nose heavy or anything like that. And that really helps because it allows you to, get a hand on it and handle it better, much like handling a gun with VZ grips. The unique features of VZ grips, they're machined from a solid block of G10, and it's great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, as well as color options and shorty versions are also available. 1911 grips with extreme customizability, standard slim palms, as well as thumb notches, safety cuts, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available, and there's one coupon code that's good for 15% off all handgun rifle grips. And that code is AR-15 podcast.
But here's the thing about the 22 suppressor and why I think it's the most awesome suppressor you can have for a pistol is because ideally any other, pistol caliber suppressor isn't realistic or, practical, but a 22 is, because obviously everyone who thinks about getting a suppressor and putting it on a handgun thinks automatically that they're all going to sound movie quality, and that's just not true. And that's why the 22 works the best, because they are actually movie authentic as far as the noise reduction. And then when you have a suppressor that light and still does something as good as any other 22 can does, but you don't have the extra weight, that's just the added bonus, which I agree with you, Nick, about having the balance of the gun. But just, if anyone doesn't have a 22 can yet, because I've seen some of the comments that they need some, definitely check this one out, because again,
we haven't talked about one thing yet, and that's price on it.
Well, it's true.
The single stack baffle, like retail price on this is $130.
Yeah, that was the first comment the letter people actually made too. It's like, holy shit, this is super affordable. I'm like, all of our shit is, because we make it all in house. We're the baker, not just the cake decorator.
I think the best part about that is once after the first of the year, when that stamp is gone, paying for the tax stamp, you're not paying more for the stamp than you are for the actual suppressor.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier to buy them, because
look out for November when everyone starts getting slammed because they're going to be ordering suppressors.
We're already kind of at that.
It's happening.
We're at that fuck point right now where you have. Excuse me, I'm smoking meth with that cat I got out here. So Joe, you have that whole split, that mentality where you have, I'm just gonna wait, and you have everybody that's like, it's only $200 fucking dollars, and everybody's gonna be sold out for the foreseeable future. And it's like a 50-50 split right
now. Mm-hmm. I get it. It's only $200, but when that's more than doubles the price of the piece, it's like, it makes it hard to justify.
Yeah.
I think that's why you see so many people that don't buy the 22 suppressors.
Yeah.
If I have to throw another $200 on a $1,200 titanium,
whatever, right? Yeah.
Not that big of a deal, but that's $130. It's more than double my price now. So I get it. And buy them now, get them to your dealer, and then wait to file the paperwork. Just get them to your dealer.
Yep. But so you guys don't just make 22 cans, and you don't just make cans. So you make a bunch of stuff along with, full on firearms and a whole line of accessories. I know that we were shooting a couple of your rifles while we were there too, because we were shooting one of the, I think it was the Phoenix or ARs you had there, and those are a solid, like, nice. They're a machine gun. All the parts fit phenomenally.
Yeah, everything. So the parent company is Next Level Manufacturing. We do machining for 37 companies in the firearms industry. Everything's mid and above as far as our customer list is. I don't share that or say who they are or anything like that, but it's not the low tier folks. Very familiar with stack up tolerancing, coatings, all that fun stuff, and how, all the testing's done for salt spray, maritime, all that good stuff is all incorporated into our rifles. We do a radial delay 9mm. I think you probably shot that too, with a titanium can. We had a 338 with the Inconel can on there. So we have a variety of applications for no matter what level the shooter's at, right? Like the one you're talking about. That's a fully ambi platform with a DLC bolt carrier. Everything's upgraded right on the box. Has the rear QD, all that stuff on there for about $1,000 less than somebody else that would make that comparable platform. Same thing on the radial delay stuff. That can that you shot, that stainless steel flow through can with a graphene coating on that, that just outshot cans that are 1,200 at a rating competition that happened last week. They're $1,200 cans, and that's a $500 retail can. Again, 3D printed, we turn it, we coat it. Just making things that are, very high end for the consumer. Again, we do make them out of Inconel if somebody's running nods and full auto and all that kind of stuff, and is worried about illumination. But yeah, the entry level stuff is the same design, different materials.
Yeah, and I personally, I think that's awesome. Inconel's an awesome material. I have a lot of I have titanium can. I've got a bunch of stainless steel cans because I am first and foremost cheap, and I'll just admit it, because when I'm buying my own stuff, I'm like, well, this will do it, and I understand, but also this is cheap and it'll hold up for a long time. I've had one of mine, or the first time I did a lot of extended shooting with one under night vision, it was kind of crazy how much that started to glow from getting hot. And just kind of neat to be like, oh yeah, that is the forbidden popsicle. But don't lick the forbidden popsicle.
Don't do it.
But so you mentioned one thing, and I hate to jump around on everybody here.
I think I mentioned 16 things, but thanks for picking one. Go on.
Well,
pick whatever the fuck you want.
No, it is, but it's something that I know I looked at because you guys had them out, and I went, oh, that's actually kind of neat. But because you specifically mentioned your like the rear QD.
Yeah.
And do you guys make that one in house? The Ascend?
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm going to pull this up on screen and say the reason why I think this one is so cool is most of our listeners have all built their own ARs before. So they've put a stock on, and had that buffer tube. But if you look at this, as this goes through, you had the castle nut and end plate kit. So as this all goes through, that's made to fit together.
Yeah, then this is the mod 2, so there's also a mod 1. So this has that angle taper down on the back on the lower piece of it. So that way you have that engagement angle. And then there's also a straight up and down one. That's
there's the mod 1.
Yeah, a little less machining. So like I said, it's been a really crazy, Trump slump, all this other stuff happening. Everybody's dying left and right. We've been very fortunate to be absolutely slammed with upgrades on platforms people already own, right? So you've seen we do MPX, MCX, MP 1522, CMMG Mutant, AR-15, AR-10 charging handles, right? Those things put us on the map and have kept us absolutely slammed. So that, and like the components you showed and the safety selectors, just titanium drum safety selectors. Again, we run high volume, trying to get them cost effective for the consumer. And we've stayed really busy with that stuff while everybody else is dying.
So this is one of those things where I'm going to get on and say something quick. So titanium barrel safety selector. People might not think that's a big deal because it's like, oh, it's a safety selector. Who cares? If you knew how hard it was to machine titanium, because it is not exactly the most forgiving or easiest substance in the world to run through a machine.
The safety selector groove is super easy with that tiny tool you put in there.
Yeah, but it's still generally like it's a bit harder to machine than just doing your steel one.
Yeah. So the other difference with that is too, if you look at the detent that goes in there, that pin on ours, we actually make those all out of stainless steel and then integrated nitrided. So 99% of what you use in the marketplace is zinc dichromated, like just cast little shitty plug steel, right? So yeah, that little pin right there, that's actually a nitrided piece of stainless steel, so it doesn't wear on your detent groove. So everything else that you'll see out there is just a zinc dichromated, so little cheap process. That's why they all wear out and look like shit.
And those are the little things that go into making a quality firearm that makes it more of an heirloom that people don't think about. I know that we have obviously doing the show with a name like the AR-15 podcast, we end up talking to a lot of people and, having friends who are manufacturers kind of all over. And we have one that actually went through and he started doing coatings on his gas rings. because he wanted to make sure that everything was done the right.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it is rather amazing to see how all these parts go in, because you kind of did a throwaway comment earlier about stacking tolerances and having quality machining, and then having the proper coatings that increase longevity while decreasing wear to
Yeah.
keep everything fitting tight
Yeah.
really helps to mitigate that stacking tolerances problem.
Yeah. So there was a magical coating when we first got into the gun industry. Everybody wanted us to use on bolt carriers, and I got back the first set, cam pins, firing pin, like all the components, and put them together. And I was like, this coating is complete dog shit. The stack up, you're polishing the riding surfaces, the most critical surfaces for the part when it actuates inside the firearm. You're taking the coating off to get it to go together, just so it goes together and it looks nice, right? So we started using DLC coating because we use it on tons of our cutting tools, right? Shear tooling and stuff like that for automotive customers that just punch 600,000 times through a piece of exhaust, right? And they're using DLC coating on it. Well, that would be pretty fucking good on a bulk, right? Like you can wipe it off. It's easy to clean. The core stays malleable. The outside's off the Rockwell, hardness, C scale, going to the Burnell scale. So everything you could ever want, right? So we do a lot of shit like that where we were the first to start using it on bull carriers and firearm stuff. But we're fucking really bad at marketing because I would rather be out in the shop. I'm not into we don't do a lot of the influencer stuff or anything like that. Just try to make some really cool shit, and we typically stay pretty sold out. Do pretty good.
Well, that's a good problem to have if you're staying sold out of stuff, especially with not doing a bunch of marketing, because that means your product works.
Yeah.
It's I've seen that before with a lot of other things where it's, hey, this stuff works, this stuff doesn't. Going to give a shout out to Bob there from Gideon in the chat as well. Good to see those guys are joining us. And but it's it's cliche to say it, but it's the little things that go in, kind of like
180%.
Yeah, and the attention to detail and doing those finer things is really kind of the parts that get overlooked, especially in mass manufacturing. It's because it's the easiest thing to let slip, because QC's that, like, oh, hey, we're just going to produce 1 billion of these, detents. So who cares how they end up?
Yeah, we also do a couple other things a little differently where it's actual, performance-based profit sharing. A third goes to new equipment, a third goes in the oh shit fund, and a third goes to the employees, right? So they don't produce junk. Junk doesn't get out of the shop. They police themselves. If somebody was hired and is a douchebag and scrapping parts or doing something terrible, I don't even know that it happens, right? Because they walk that motherfucker out the door before I even get into work, right? So it's unique and it's different, and we've had offers to get bought by very big companies to take things and take them to the next level for us and do a lot of things. And part of the conversation was, well, we'll shut down what you got going on in Michigan, and we're going to move to state X. One of those companies is out of business now, but they were going to take us to the next level about 5 years ago. But everybody helped me build what we have, right? So I'm not selling them downstream to make a buck either. So we'll be around for a while.
Well, that is awesome. And it's good to have that, because sticking around and having staying power is great, especially with staying true to kind of yourself and what you're doing.
It's weird, though, right? These patterns and these cycles, like what was War Sport had warehouse full of all their shit to be able to sell these guns during the panic, and California's buying guns and they couldn't get LPKs, right? So a bunch of fucking Springs drove a multi-million-dollar company out because then Trump got in office, right? Everything was slow. Yeah. So just chasing those cycles and watching the mistakes everybody else makes is just kind of like the race to the bottom and Anderson, right? Like there's this whole thing. You can write a book of all the fuck ups everybody else did and use it as your Bible to build your business plan.
Well, I know that talking about that, like you said, springs, and that triggered like a core memory of mine. Used to do like some AR build classes and stuff like that. Did them with another guy here locally, and he goes, "Oh man, I got this super sweet deal on a bunch of parts, and like we'll do this for these classes." And I went, "All right." Like I'm not sure. Like I kind of wanted to check them because if I was going to have my name associated with it, I wanted it to be good parts.
Yeah.
And he ordered a whole mess of lower parts kits, and they were dirt cheap. And I had to sit there with a pair of side cutters and start cutting takedown pin springs for detents to the proper length because they were all out of spec. like it was like, where'd you get these from? And he tells me the company, and I'm like, oh, so they're pure Chinesium.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, what? We just got to make money. All it does is do this. I'm like, yeah, that's not the point, man. Like this is a rifle. It's going to work.
Yeah.
Any rifle I build runs. Somebody can depend their life on it.
Yep, depend their life on it, or like our AR-10 shit. We were first to market with a left-hand eject AR-10, and everybody kept waiting for us. I make sure everything's fucking perfect. Somebody's taking that platform on the hunt of their life, right? Even though they're not defending their life with it, they're going out on some crazy ass hunt. It's got to work,
Yeah.
We had that left-hand eject AR-15, so that Phoenix is available in left and right hand, and we had it down at Goals last year. And everybody's running the shit out of it and trying to order it. And I'm like, I'll probably be ready in another year. I mean, the left hand bolt catches just went out today to nitride in production volume, and I only made 50 of them. I have 500 people that had sent information to be able to order them after Goals, right? I mean, it's just a little different. I like to build some perfect shit, so I would not buy those LPKs.
Hey, I know that's one where I saw it and I came in and I was like, oh, hey, this is going to not work. But because I trusted someone else to buy good stuff, I had to fix things. But, speaking of left-handed, and I know we got one wrong-handed person on here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's you. You're the problem.
I'm always the problem. I know. I've seen me do it.
But also having dependable. And if you're in need of reliable custom Kydex holsters, you can check out Klecker Tactical for your one-stop shop using premium USA source material. Klecker Tactical will build you a holster in a variety of styles and colors, along with light and laser options. You can even get one wrong-handed. If you're in law enforcement, a competitive shooter, or an everyday gun enthusiast, trust a Klecker Tactical will provide every firearm owner has access to top-tier and personalized holsters, as well as quality products you can't find anywhere else. Use code AR-15 podcast for 10% off at kleckertactical.com. Nope. So, going through this stuff, we talked a little bit about your ARs. I know we shot those. I think yours was actually the first 338 ARC that I shot. Like ever touched off a round was that one you guys had at GunCon.
It was hilarious just watching people's reactions to that. And the time it took to hit the target and how loud that was hitting the target versus the round. I made a video of me like rapid firing it, but after every single shot, I turned it into a loud ass fart. So people were going like to hear how loud the suppressor was and turn it up all loud. And it was just me farting continuously after every time I pulled the trigger. So this is why we're bad at marketing, because I make fart videos, right?
I mean, it also could have just been like you the next day at GunCon after the beer tent.
It was a beer wall, man. Did me in.
Yep. But so like you're offering not just, we've already said that you're kind of not the one trick pony, but you're offering a variety of calibers in a lot of these ARs that you're building. Cause I mean, you've got 6 ARC, 338, 350 Legend, I seen here 450 Bushmaster, and of course the 5.56. Because you need to have a 5.56, and
we do things a little bit slower too. Like we just got some requests on 400 and the 350 Legend. We jumped on that train pretty early on, seeing some variants from ammo manufacturer to ammo manufacturer. Then we kind of hit the brakes and we let that marinate for a year, and everything got perfected, and then we went to production with it. So we might not. We do a lot of internal testing. If it's not perfect, I don't want, like I said, somebody going, because those calibers like 350, 450 Bushmaster, somebody's going on a big hunt with, right? You don't want that to not work for them. So we make sure all that ammo shit's ironed out. So 338 was phenomenal from the jump, though. That has been fantastic. And 6 ARC the same way. So we'll see how the 400 plays out. Maybe next year we'll do that.
Then, of course, you also offer your your 9mm that you already talked about with a radial delay 9mm, which radial delay I think is super interesting to me because I'm a nerd. So I like the way that works to lock up to help with dwell time for recoil impulse and those things.
Also, weight of the rifle, right? You don't have to have heavy ass buffer. You don't have to have all these extra components in there. The weight's a night and day difference. So,
yeah, and it is. So I'm going to ask this: is it's each of your bolt has to be timed to your barrel, correct?
Correct.
The radial delay.
Correct.
Or at least to the barrel extension.
Yeah.
To make sure that everything hooks up right, so nothing gets out of whack for how that speeds up with the radial delay, which is like the only kind of you have to. It's like, oh no, you have to buy a match set. That's the main thing if you're trying to build one.
Yeah.
But so that's another one where if you're building stuff like that, attention to detail there is something that's incredibly important. And then of course 308s are a ton of fun because who doesn't love shooting a 308? I mean, I still enjoy it. And I enjoy my 6.5 Creedmoor as well, but that's just because we have room to reach out here.
We do.
Must be nice. I got to drive hour and a half now from where I'm at to be able to shoot out to 1,000.
We can stretch out that and then some.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I got to go on a road trip just to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but surprisingly enough, none of us are long range shooters. Like,
I really wasn't until we started developing that 6 ARC, started going and taking some classes, and that round's very impressive when you show up to the classes. Everybody's got 22-inch barrels. They're shooting 7mm, and I show up with a 16-inch barrel on an AR-15, and they're like, "The fuck are you doing?" Right? And it ripped. I mean, it went out 1250, and just I was wildly impressed. And like I said, I'm not a super skilled long shooter, and that was the second class I had ever taken. So the gun is much more accurate than.
Well, now you're making me think I need to get into that 6 ARC. And I was already thinking about maybe going to 338 because I think I have the 5.56 world hammer covered down on.
He's been talking about it a lot.
But we'll get going through with that. I know that we did this in the wrong order, and that's me not paying attention to detail. But when we started, we kind of just dove straight into the company. And Dave, we didn't actually say anything about you. How did you end up in the firearm space?
Oh man, I got fucked. That's how I did that.
Oh, so just like all of us. All right.
Yeah, there's my uncle. Was a bit younger.
It's like,
No.
So just tell me where he touched you at. Okay.
No, I've been in machining since you pretty much got out of high school, and was a shop bitch. I'm still a shop bitch, and always enjoyed it. I always shot quite a bit, and had a customer approach us that's best friends with the massive distributor that we would all know if I named them. And all he needed was somebody to manufacture some firearms parts for him, and he was going to go to market with a platform. And he had a company on the east side of the state here in Michigan, was going to do uppers and lowers. So I said, okay, we'll do bolt carriers, and we'll design you some charging handles, and we'll do some muzzle devices and some handguards. So we basically picked up anything that we could machine for him. He didn't pay a $250,000 bill. We had bought some dedicated equipment. He then had not paid the gentleman on the east side of the state. Him and I had became friends. I said, well, this dude's brand sucks. I would never call my company Zero Defense. That was the name of it. So we went together and I helped him. This is back when you had Facebook groups and shit. And you could just get in there and be like, hey, I got a upper and lower and a bolt carrier for whatever, right? AR-15 Nation, 280,000 people, and you're just slanging stuff, right? So we helped him sell all the uppers and lowers while we finished developing. We already had the AR-10 developed for ourselves. We wanted to get into that market first. It's a little less saturated, not as much competition. And then after we sold all the uppers and lowers that I didn't pay him for, we ended up running the AR-15s and then got into all of our line accessories and stuff. No scary guy. It was not Detroit. It was not Detroit Gunworks. It was a machine shop anodizer that was doing the machining and coating on the uppers and lowers.
I was going to say there's a handful of Michiganders in the chat, so they.
Yeah, Detroit Gunworks was actually just out at range with the guys last week, so very familiar with those guys.
Right on. So that's kind of how you wound up, as it was, hey, we're machining and we can build stuff. Hey, can you build?
Yeah, the dude just didn't pay us. And then, like I said, we just were hustling around in Facebook groups. The gun industry is a weird place with a lot of egos, and there's also a lot of very cool people that'll open up a lot of doors for you. I mean, I called a couple guys I had seen in a chat. John Huang was one of them that owned Rainier Arms. I was like, dude, I just got screwed by this guy that I don't even know what to do with all these parts and blah, blah, blah. He spent like 2 hours on the phone with me, kind of walking through stuff, how to go to market and do these things. Another gentleman, Clint Walker, he started Nemo back in the day, and I think he did Falcor, and, he's built up some good brands.
Yeah, he moved across the street and did Falcor after Nemo.
Yeah. Yeah, so we connected, and I talked to him, and we became friends over the years. And, he kind of mentored me when I was first getting started in the industry. And then, I had, there's a couple guys that would throw me in a vehicle at a show down at Knight's Armament and bring me back to a house full of people that are, very connected in the industry that, I grew up kind of like worshiping, right? Thinking that they're the coolest shit ever. And it happens very quick in this industry. People are cool like that. You also have, the batch of dickheads, obviously. I met you guys. But you have a lot of
precisely.
I was there.
Yeah, no, it's and that's what's great is 1 minute you're driving a minivan down the interstate as guys are making multinational munitions deals in the car with you, and the next minute you're making dick and fart jokes on the range.
Exactly.
And that's well, this is the kind of day we're gonna have today. And it
sounds like a Thursday.
Yeah. Everything's on the up and up. We're all going good. We just accelerated what we were doing here. Sweet. And but it is one thing I've told a lot of people is nobody realizes how small our industry actually is.
Amen. That's the craziest shit, right?
It's it is a very small industry, and then we are also like we eat our own more than anyone else, I think.
Just even in the comments section, like I get blazed out in the comments section because I just kind of lurk in groups. I don't go in and say a ton of stuff, and somebody will be like, you can tell they've never done anything, they don't really know much, and they'll ask a question in there, and everybody just always tells them to buy whatever they own, right? They don't really I'm like, what are you doing with the firearm? What is your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And people are like, I'm gonna fucking go in here and ask all these nerdy ass questions. I'm like, well, kind of want to know what they're doing so I can recommend.
Yeah, I always say the same thing. It's like, hey, I want an AR. Great. What do you want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to shoot? Do you want to shoot prairie dogs at 800 yards? Because we can build you that. Are you gonna do like super safety FRT stuff? Because that's a whole different thing. Is this just gonna be your gun you're gonna use to defend your house with? Maybe take a carbine class. Like, what do you want to do with your gun? But I think a lot of people don't realize that. Well, that's one of the things I love the most about the platform is how versatile it is.
Yes, sir.
Yep. But yeah, Dr. Scary Guy says buy lowers by the 6-pack. And he is correct. That is the best way to do it. And never buy magazines in anything less than 10 or ammunition in anything less than 1,000.
Correct.
That's retirement advice.
Generational wealth.
Yes, you should buy magazines to make sure your kids don't never have to run out, or their kids.
Time your ammo delivery so you're not home and everybody else has to carry it in.
That too.
That's a me thing. I've maybe done that.
I think the last 3 orders got delivered when I wasn't home.
Yeah, my wife and actually my daughter will see the white and black ORMD label and just instantly start texting me. Because your fucking ammo showed up again.
Hey, Piper needs that strength
Conditioning.
and cardio. Yeah, it's good for her.
But Dave, here we're kind of drawn to the close here. Do you have anything else you want to add tonight? I know that we've enjoyed having you on here talking to us about it, and I think everyone needs to go check your stuff out because you do have, not just full guns, but you do sell all of your parts, and those small parts that you can get that have the the good like the coatings and the quality and the thought process that have gone into these are things that people sometimes don't always look at. And it's just just a source for AR-10 firing retention pins can be amazing at times because
The penis pin.
Yeah, I have totally never lost 3 of those.
Yeah, that's why we designed them to be the head of a penis with a P slot on them, so it collapses a tiny bit, but doesn't retract all the way out, but you can still remove that. So that's honest to God, the number one selling item volume wise, not dollar obviously, that we sell is the penis pins.
Yep. And so that's nextlevelarms.com. Nextlevelarms.com. I see that I watched what is asking in the chat. So we'll have a link to this in the show notes as we go through for anybody as we look up later.
We'll throw it up on Discord. So if you're not there, get there.
Yep. We'll push it out on that stuff. We'll have it in all the show notes for everything. Dave, where can people find you and your stuff and your brilliant marketing strategies?
My fart jokes are normally on our Instagram. I mean, we're so far shadow banned at this point, it really doesn't even matter, right? I mean, on Facebook, there's a Next Level Alliance in there. That's like our private group of real people that are cool, like that join, that want to know when new shit's coming out, want to know what's going on. We keep it, pretty small. I think there's 600-700 people in there, and testers. I usually go out to each specific group, send it out to 20 people in an NCX group, MPX group. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys having me on.
No, and we appreciate you coming on to talk about your stuff. I know that we're excited to talk to you in the future more and be looking at more of your stuff. So, Joe, you got anything to add tonight?
No. Well, yeah. Same as usual. Go check out Next Level Armament. Check out their website. Check out their social media. Go give them a like, a follow, share their stuff. That grassroots campaign stuff is how we stay relevant in this world with everybody trying to shut us down. So, us, give our stuff a share. Any of your favorite 2A stuff, because right now we're probably about ready to ramp up for some more fights after this week. So get out there and make sure everybody knows that we're not all crazy.
Yes, that is very much so true. Garth, you got anything to add?
I haven't done this in a while, but yeah, Guys, check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co for all your patch going needs. If you look to my right behind me, I have my patch wall. I also have the Patriot Patch logo. Nick has their new patch of the month, I believe, because I haven't opened like the last 3 months of mine. I'm a little behind. For $15 a month, you can join the Patch of the Month Club. You get the patches like the one Nick has in his hand. You get the custom sticker. You get the certificate of it all. Guys, check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co.
Yes, that is right. And guys, as we go through here, everyone knows what it is that I'm about to say. We live in a interesting world. What a time to be alive. I know I say that all the time. And one of the most important things you can do right now is remember, go out, get training, get medical training.
Huge.
Yeah. It's go get training, get medical training. That is a huge thing. Everyone needs to have it. Carry a tourniquet. Like if you carry a gun, you should carry a tourniquet, hands down. Even if you don't carry a gun, you should still carry a tourniquet. But with that, guys, remember that no one is coming to save you. You are your own first responder and expect to self-rescue. And you folks out there, you stay safe and stay armed.